Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I am Everett Maxine, the host and creator of The Absence of Her podcast, birthed July 2019 in the memory of my mother, who was found deceased June 19th, 2018. I share my life experiences to let others know they are not alone. Over the past few years, I spoke mainly from a place of pain during the beginning of my grief journey. As I'm learning to navigate the journey and help listeners as well, I relaunched to share more from a positive space of purpose. On Facebook and Instagram, you can follow me at I am Everett Maxine, EveretMaxine. The podcast has its own Instagram page, The Absence of Her podcast, and my new organization, birthed just last year, can be followed on Instagram at the AOH Community. If you're a motherless daughter, or a teen girl or woman who has grown up in the absence of a mother or experienced the loss of a mother, please go to www.theabsenceofhercommunity and complete the interest form. I would love to know how you could benefit from my community and connection. God laid it upon my heart, and I believe this vision will come to fruition. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it, leave a comment, and most importantly, share, so others know they are not alone. 'Tis the season. Yes, I know Christmas is over, but that is the thought that comes to mind when it comes to this new year, and now we're into a new month, and I have been absent from my podcast like forever. I started a series about pouring from an empty cup, and you're like, girl, where you went? And it's just like, I don't want to say 'tis the season for chaos, but life be lifing. The beginning of the year is when you create vision boards, goal setting, new gym memberships, resolutions, and all the positive vibes that start with a new year. But then life happens. And just maybe you don't follow your vision board. And then you decide the goals that you set were a little too high and you get discouraged. Or maybe loss hits and you're so stuck in grief, you can't think about being positive. Or like for me, illness hits and it interrupts your new start of going to the gym because I just paid off my balance. Hey, I'm human. And like, okay, I didn't pay my balance. I'm going to go in here right because I'm paying these people for months and not even going into the gym. And now I'm in a situation where I can't even go work out right now. So like, it's crazy. And then, we had the inauguration, and I'm going to let politics be politics because that is not what my platform is for. But there's a lot going on in the world. The plane crashes in 1 week. In Texas, Houston, Texas, Southeast Texas, we had snow. We don't get snow down here. We had snow and I was freaked out about whether it was going to be a freeze like it was years ago, where I was literally trapped at work for like 5 days. I was blessed to have a job at a hospital. But honey, even with them paying me 24 hours, nobody wants to be trapped at work. And now that January is over, today is February the 1st, the beginning of Black History Month. But this going to be a Black History year. And your girl has dropped her second book today. It was published at Amazon, Praying from the Pit, a 40-day prayer and mood journal. And if you don't have it, it is $16 on Amazon. You need to go get it. And not only do you need to get it for yourself, you need to get a couple of copies for some friends so you can say the prayers together, write your prayers for 2025 together, and then reflect over some of these questions that I have. Because it makes you look at your emotions. Are you walking as a believer? But you could also challenge your friend and say, hey, lately you've been angry. Is that a reflection of a believer? What's some scriptures that can help you out and support each other in that prayer walk? So how I came to write the second book, and I guess I need to tell you about my first book because I probably haven't been on the podcast since before August of 2024. So in August 2024, I had the opportunity to go on my third mission trip to the Czech Republic. It was a beautiful experience, y'all. If you have not had the opportunity to do missionary work, evangelism, and go share the gospel of Jesus Christ to other countries, it's not a vacation. It is work, and you will enjoy the work if you're going to feel the Great Commission. It was a long flight, but the country was beautiful. The people were so kind, but it was a very different atmosphere. Because whereas when I went to Belize to minister and to Africa to minister, they had churches, they knew about Christ, they were very welcoming of it. And in those countries that I went to, there were majority African, well, we'll say African Americans because that's not America. There are more people of Black descent. And so, and if you're listening to my podcast for the first time, I don't operate in perfection. I just chat and about what goes on in my life and share my testimony so that you know you are not alone. So in the Czech Republic, I think there's like 10 million people and like 4,000 of them are Black. So there's a very small percentage. And we were Black missionaries and one Hispanic. And like 90% of their country are atheists. And it really touched my heart thinking about that as we were worshiping on the street corner. And a guy came up and he made me think about the scripture where it talks about the man is tormented with demons, and he was just crying out in their language. And as we got the singing and praying, he started shouting hallelujah. And I began to think, like, even if this man accepts Christ, who can he go pray with in his family? Who can he go worship with? They don't have churches on every corner like we do here. And so even though they're not going to be arrested for worshiping God, the opportunity to fellowship with other believers is a challenge in itself. But when I got back, life was really doing the most. I got back and I pushed through writing my book, Crawling to the Cross. I knew I was being really tested, and I said, Lord, I'm going to carry this project across the finish line. The baton is in hand. I'm in the middle of this race. I cannot give up now. I'm having the birthing pains. It is time to push this baby out. And I did. The very weekend that I dropped my book, my car broke. Well, it started having issues. And then a couple of days later, it was completely gone. The motor was gone. And it was the first day that I was supposed to go back to work. So last year I was on medical leave for 8 months. And I was diagnosed with occipital neuralgia. And that was very hard for me because I don't have frequent medical issues. I don't have frequent visits to the doctor. And I was just having these headaches that began about September of 2023. And I thought it was because of the job, because I'm a teacher, I'm an educator. And, you know, it's a little multitasking and trying. I don't know how even people do this with taking care of families. It's a lot as a teacher. And so I was new to this campus. I was new to this district. I was trying to catch on. This is my third year of teaching. And it was like a slippery slope. I couldn't get up it. And so I started having these headaches, and it got to the point I was missing work because of these headaches. They were getting worse and worse. And it seemed to be I was having 2, 3, 4 a week. And so by November, I was missing a gap of time. In December, I went and had a CAT scan, had my eyes checked, all the things, and they didn't see anything. And so I flew to Georgia to visit my cousin for Christmas. And the day before I flew back, I started having one of those bad headaches and nauseated and sick. And I thought maybe I was just nervous because her son was flying back with me. And got back, and that headache, y'all, sat with me for 7 days. And when I'm having these headaches, like I normally take ibuprofen and something, these headaches were not being relieved by any medication. And so when the new year started, I think we went back to work on January the 2nd. I had scheduled with a neurologist, but my bad, I did not check him out. Normally I do reviews. I try to find out as much as I can about a doctor before I go see them. I paid this doctor like $100 and something, this neurologist, for me to go in there, for him to give me 2 different medications, no testing, and say, take these both and tell me which one works the best. What? How am I gonna tell you if I take them both? Like, that's just stupid. So putting my health first, the next day I go see a doctor that became my PCP, and she is absolutely wonderful. And then seeing her, she had me home for a couple of days. And by January 18th, we had another appointment virtually. And I could feel some things going on in my body, but she was notating some things about my motor skills and how I was talking and things when these headaches are going on. And so she wanted me to see a neurologist. So while we're sitting in the meeting, now teaching is challenging, but does not mean I don't want to be at work. She says, I'm going to have you off till March. And I'm like, what? So now I'm thinking, what about my kids? What about my job? Like, and I don't do sitting still well either. And the condition was forcing me to be still. So I try to call and set up an appointment to see a neurologist, and they say September the 11th. And at this point, I'm discouraged. I'm calling around, trying to get earlier appointments. And I go that February to have a brain scan or something like that done. They put the hat on your head. They didn't tell me they're going to put no helmet on my head. It was really freaky. But they asked what type of music I wanted to listen to, and I said Christian music, and so it was very calming. And so anyways, they didn't find anything with that, and I found another neurologist that wasn't supposed to be available till like May, and ended up being available in April. And I believe it was April the 4th that I saw her for the first time. And I had at this time been doing my research, and I had already come to the conclusion that it was occipital neuralgia. But of course, I'm not going to walk in and tell the doctors, hey, this is what I found. They have their education in medicine. I don't. I want them to figure it out. And so she came to the same conclusion. And I had to have injections in my head. First of all, I don't like needles. I don't like needles at all. Like, I will clown about a needle. But because I'm an adult and not a kid anymore, I don't run out the room. I just try to suck it up. So anyways, I had to have 4 shots at the back of my head at 3 different sessions. So that was 12 shots total. And like, it was so creepy because you're sitting there in the quiet. They have the room dimmed. And you can hear this swooshing going into your head. Like, I could hear the fluid in my head. It was so... Just thinking about that makes me sad. And so then summertime comes. It's June. I'm thinking my contract is now up with the school. Mind you, as a teacher, because I'm not there and I'm on leave, I have to pay now for my medical benefits because the premium's not covered by the job. And that's $800 a month. Then June comes and I think I'm done with this school. And they're like, no, we roll over your contract. You have to resign. And I'm like, okay. But I'm not trying to resign. I'm just trying to see by August how I'm going to feel. But they weren't trying to hear it. They were like, we want to fill the position and we can't until you resign. And we need a doctor to sign off saying you can work by come August. So the doctor's like, it's June. Check me back closer to August. They don't want to hear that. They want her to put a date on the paperwork. So my doctor puts the year 2047. And she suggests, her and the neurologist, that I find another profession other than teaching. That's nice to say, but wasn't easy to do. So September the 12th, I went back to teaching. And now I teach 7th grade math, which is very challenging with a generation that does not understand their need for academics and knowledge and basic skills to survive. So, 'tis a season of life challenges, but it is also the season of turning back to God, because God is still amongst us. And as I am still pursuing a counseling degree in seminary, we have been going over the story of the Bible. And the people keep getting turned back to bondage every time they fail the mission that God has called us to do. And He has called us to spread His kingship and His image throughout the nation. So it's not about us. It's not about the goals we want to set, although nice. It's not about the things we want to buy. It's not about our feelings, and I have a hard one with that. But it's about God. And I just hope that if you're having a challenging season already, the first month out of 12, we got 11 more months to go. And I'm challenging myself to log on each day and post throughout this month and talk about Black history and talk about Black authors. But first, I'm going to finish the series that I started about pouring from an empty cup, because I have 2 other parts that I want to do. And one is work and the other one is ministry. And I feel those are necessary areas to talk about. So, hey, y'all, 'tis the season. I am Everett Maxine. I want to thank you for listening to The Absence of Her. Please like, share, and be blessed.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.